Okay everyone, this is going to be the last part for now of my Walking Dead Deluxe collection. We have issues 73 through 113, which is the most recent issue. So this is a big long box. So starting off with 73, and this also starts volume 13, Too Far Gone, I believe. We have still the 20th anniversary, so it looks like we've got Abraham and Holly killing the walkers. Cover B is the Abraham. This is them working on getting the beams to the fence, if I remember correctly. And like he just takes over the crew because he's the goat. And then this connecting one, like a walker. I remember because when this month happened for Deluxe, they released like I think 5 issues and they were all weekly. The big one being 75, if I remember. Okay, next is 74. This issue has Glenn and Heath on the roof. The next issue is Father Gabriel in the church praying. This one kind of reminds me of Clementine. I think it might be supposed to be like a zombie Glenn, maybe, because it's got the cap. So I think in this issue, Glenn and Heath go into the city to get supplies. I mean, this one also has another variant, which is those two roof hopping, kind of like the way Rick and Glenn did at the very beginning of the series. Okay. Next is the issue what this volume gets its name from. This is the big boy. There's actually quite a few variants for it, isn't it? I didn't know there's that many. 75A, this is Rick beating the absolute shit out of, what was his name? Pete, I believe. I mean, the other one, which is Rick being held back. Pete Anderson, I think. And he's like, you mean me? And he like does the whole thing in the streets. Oh yeah, I think I do get that, because it's just like a zombie Rick and a zombie Michonne, so it's them as walkers. So it's kind of cool out there, kind of thing. Michonne after knocking Rick out in the street. I remember they did that in the TV show quite well, actually, from season 5, the best season as well. And then we have, I think that's when they push him into the crowd of walkers. It's like the random survivors that are in the city. And Glenn and Heath see him from the roof. And then this issue 75, which is just a bunch of zombies. I think it's also like him getting eaten. But it's like from his perspective, which is kind of goofed up. So, 75. '76 is now, we're gone with the 20th anniversary, we're now into this back to normal. So we have Rick on the ground after being hit by the rock, and like Douglas, Michonne, and all stand over him. I think Regina, whatever her name was in the books, dies in this issue. Pete killed her with a sword, I believe. In the show it was, whatever, I can't remember what the husband's name was. It's another one. Reggie, maybe. That's Michonne as a walker. Possibly even this one, actually, maybe, because I think this might be the issue where they kill that guy. 77, so we have Heath, and I believe his name was Scott. That's Pete Anderson going by the window, I'm pretty sure, and that's Maggie Jean, a bit of a creepy one. It's the original cover. Then we got another zombie, I'm not sure who this is supposed to be. Andrea, maybe? And then Rick executing Pete. Do it. Rick. And final issue of this volume. 79. I can't remember what happens in this. I think this might be the one where the group show up at the gate and they're like, let us in. And then like Rick and Andrea deal with them, I'm pretty sure. So that's the A. B's the original, so you got Andrea and Spencer. And then the final one, the connecting, which is Douglas, I believe, as a zombie. That there is volume volume 13, I believe, Too Far Gone. Let's get this stack out of the way. Starting volume 14, we have No Way Out, so Eric and Aaron have returned from their mission of trying to find more survivors, and unfortunately this time it wasn't that good. This issue is the original with all the walkers surrounding Glen and Heath. I like that because it's the winter, something the show didn't really ever do. And then the start of this connecting set, which is we have Abraham and Glen killing walkers around Alexandria. Number 80, which is No Way Out Part 1. All the walkers have got to the gate from the gunfire and they're boxing in, giving them no way out, as the story says. There's Andrea in the tower by herself. She gets trapped. And then that's, what was his name? Tobin, I think. He gets eaten. That's, I believe, Rick. I'm not sure who that is, I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching it go down. '81, so No Way Out Part 2. This is where they actually get in. The fence breaks down and they get through. Glen and Heath try to get supplies over the Andrea, so they go over the wee line thing and it snaps and they near fall into the herd. And the final part is, or the third cover, sorry, is that supposed to be Morgan fighting walkers? '82, No Way Out Part 3. So we got them all fighting the walkers, trying to get back to the house. Inside we got Rick, Maggie, Carl, Sophia, Michonne all boarded up in the house with Morgan as they're hiding out from the walkers. And then this connecting one with them all outside, and there's Douglas getting ready to go outside and just start popping rounds like. Okay, this one I think is the end for Jesse and Ron. I think they get eaten. No Way Out Part 4, which is number 83. Douglas also dies here, so I believe the cliffhanger of this issue is Carl getting shot in the eye. Spoilers. Yep, there's Rick holding them. There's them getting eaten in the back. Rest in peace. And another one of Rick running with Carl. Yeah? I don't know. I haven't contacted yet. Apologies about that. 4, which is No Way Out Part 5. So there's Rick holding the limpless Carl. Again, there he is as well, in the fire. And the final one, the connecting, which is the survivors all going and killing the walkers to clear Alexandria and take it back. And that is volume 14, No Way Out. Okay, with volume 15, we find ourselves. So we have Glenn and Abraham finding to the zombie Jesse, course number 85, the original 85. I'm pretty sure when this came out, there was like the original version had like a TV show thing in the back, because this was like the TV show was just announced at the time. And then this cartoony connecting set. I don't know, this volume kind of gets slept on because it's like, it's in between like all the stuff with Negan and all that, and not much happens really. It's mainly more like around the character study of all these characters and how they've been dealing with the apocalypse, and Rick kind of breaking down. And then we get the Andrea and Rick kind of like couple moment, I think, at the end of this volume. So here we have Andrea shooting a bullet for a zombie head. Michonne at Morgan's grave. I forgot Morgan died, I think 83, I want to say. And then Michonne at the grave again with this kind of cartoon style, the connecting set. So we got '87. So Rick on the phone again, so we know he's going a bit cuckoo. I think this is the issue Abraham breaks up with Rosita for Holly. Yeah, it's the original. And then we have the upset Rosita, sorry, Eugene and Holly up in the window. '88. This is where Rick takes a group out on the supply run. Or Rick killing a walker. I think this is the one where he actually breaks down and we've got Carl bandaged up. Oh, in the background, some of the Alexandrians are wanting to overrun Rick, as they believe. And that all goes down in issue 90, where 89, sorry, where Glenn overhears it. Nicholas comes to the door and he's like, "Get out here and face me, Glenn." And then Rick kind of shows up and saves him. We've got Andrea and again Spencer. I don't even know if that even happens that moment. And there's Rick showing up and he's like, "You want to take his community from me, Glenn, Andrea, Abraham?" And then number 90, so the main issue, the A is a walker. I think this is like the last normal cover with Glenn. 90. Andrea with the walkers. And probably the key moment from this issue, Andrea and Rick hooking up on the sofa. So volume 15, we find ourselves. Volume 16, A Larger World, starting off with 91. This is the first appearance of Jesus, I think, is in the end of this issue, but he fully appears properly in 92. Andrea holding Dale's hat, and the connecting covers, kind of like Rick at the first is like, "Oh, I don't want to be with you, Andrea, because I'm afraid you'll die," blah, yada yada yada, and then she kind of calls him out in his BS, and then they do get together. Okay, no, maybe it's 92, sorry, that Jesus first appears, and it's the end of 92 and then 93, because it's been a while since I've read for it, to be honest. Showing Abraham killing walkers. I love this cover, Michonne and Abraham. Again, it's just, I think this might be like Abraham's last cover as well, unfortunately. And then another connecting one, we have Jesus with the walkers. I'm not sure he actually done that. Kind of reminds me of like Charlie Allard, but I don't know if it's him. And then Arthur Adams with his connecting cover. Kind of creepy there, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, 93, A Larger World, Part 1 of 4. Jesus. I love this cover. 93, A Larger World. It's Rick, and then you have all the smoke representing the survivor camps nearby. And just a connecting cover of Rick with a walker. These are white, so I'm gonna 94, so we got Jesus all tied up killing the walkers like the badass he is. Rick's group approach getting close to, I think, what is that? Oh no. One second. I find something stuck in there and I want to fix it. Apologies. 94A, or B, sorry. And 94C, which is Carl with the walkers. '95, which is part 3 of 4, so they finally arrived at the hilltop. Rick and Ethan. This is where the infamous issue where Rick goes, "What?" and turns around and they're all like, "He just killed someone, that man's crazy." Ethan with the zombie. It's funny that he actually got a cover. And then Ethan and your man, this is Gregory. The hilltop is the Arthur Adams one. There's a blood spill on the Rick's face. I love those connected ones, so there's so many of them. I think there's like 18 of them to connect. And then the last issue of A Larger World, so this is part 4 of 4, so 96. This is the issue where Rick makes an infinite deal to take down the Saviors. As they hear about Negan, love this is the redone of the original. All the blood splatter, and then the sea is Michonne. And up there is volume 16, A Larger World. And with that, that is officially halfway done with the series in colour, so and compendium material is now done. Now we're getting compendium 3 and starting off with volume 17, Something to Fear part 1, issue 97. So we have the Saviors on the bikes that show up, try to get Rick to pull over on the road, and then Rick kind of F's them all up. The original cover, which is this guy holding a chainsaw. I love the original Something to Fear covers there. And then we have the lineup, so we got Carl and Michonne on their knees. As Negan is here. The issue. Something to Fear part 2. This is the death of Abraham and the introduction of Dwight. Yeah, Dwight kills Abraham. Boo, we love Abraham. This guy holding like a hatchet. Not as cool as the other saviors, I must say. Heath. All shaken and a bit scared, bro. And we have this 98, which is the Arthur Adams. So we have Dwight crying, Sherry, Abe, and Eugene. Oh, we all know what's going to happen there, bro. Walters. $99. The last double-digit book. Heath killing walkers. Something to Fear Part 3. And we have 99 original, which is a guy holding a sledgehammer. Alright, there we have Maggie and Sophia, and as you can see, battered in cap, so we all know what's happening next issue. There's so many of 100. I think this might make the most variants. 100 always gets so many. Alright, starting off 100A. This is the main cover. We got Negan, Part 4, so it's the first appearance of Negan and the Death of Glenn. It's a bit of a thicker issue as well. I love the original cover for 100. His face is all shouted out, but it's Negan. Oh! Watch the comics.
Fuck.
What do you want?
You've really hung it.
No, I'm gonna ring here soon.
Why is it leaning forward like that?
I don't know why. I tried twisting it. I don't know. I think it's because it's old.
Oh no, it's not that. It's just the white.
Yeah.
The lens.
Okay. Oh, it is about that. I'm putting them in the box. I'm doing something right now, Colin.
15 minutes,
Yeah, whatever. Shut that guy up. He's annoying. Like, sorry about that. Yeah, I came in and absolutely wiped out half the collection, or that door would have damaged half of them, bro. Alright. So 100B. 100C, which is Negan kneeling down so menacingly, and he's like, the bat's covered in blood, and he's like, is a joke that bad? Of course, Part 4. And this is cover D, I believe. Yeah. It's Negan with like more saviors, and I don't know why it kind of looks a bit freaky there. Arthur Adams, and this is like so mysterious because he's so blacked out. You'd usually you'd think there'd be other things around him, but he's just like, this is Negan. A, B, D, A, B, C, D, A, which is a recoloring of another original 100. This is, I think this might be a wraparound. Charlie Adler. This is like everyone who died to this point in the series. So there's Jim, Dale, Tyrese, Amy, Carol, Laurie, the Governor. I think even Glenn's in the back. It's a bit blurry. I must say it's a good cover. I actually have the original. It's in one of my boxes behind me. I don't know. I might go for them at the end. See. I might save that because I do want to get a black on my collection. That's why I've started getting some of the books cheap. This is A, B, C, D, E. This is G here. I'm trying to keep kind of up. And this is Glenn meeting his fate. H, which is this really cool one of Negan killing all these walkers. It's a nice piece of art. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I think. Which is Glenn as a pinata and Negan absolutely just busting them in like. They don't care about spoilers like. The blank cover, of course, you have to buy it. And then 100 actually is one of the few deluxe comics that actually got a second printing, and the second printing is just a recoloring of the original second printing of 100, so it's Negan just like showing off his all standing coolness. And the next one is a Skybound exclusive. I remember I bought this just before Christmas. I remember I waited for it. It's 100, but it's like metallic red with Lucille there in the middle. You can actually see me in the reflection of it. That's how shiny that one is. I do love that one. That one I wouldn't mind getting graded. Right. $101. There we have Glenn, unfortunately, down there. That's him gone. Unfortunately, Negan has beaten our group and now has taken command. Part 5 of Something to Fear. The original cover, which is Dwight. I'm surprised. I thought Dwight would have been 98. And, oh, how lovely. Here's Glenn with his eye popped out. Crazy that we went from that many variants for 100 to just that. 101. And to finish Something to Fear, 102. So Rick's back and he's found that the group has captured Dwight. Rick sets him free, so part 6. The second cover is as a savior with a machete, or like a knife. And then Rick crying, he's like, I'm gonna kill you, not today, not tomorrow, but I will kill you. And that is volume 17, Something to Fear. I'm running out of floor space. Volume 18, I believe, was what comes after. So we have Rick letting Negan into the community, holding Lucille, which just killed Glenn. Basically letting the saviors mix him with our main survivors, and basically pretending that he's been beaten, which I kind of represents this issue here, where he's just kneeling down and he's give up. Oh, hair. I need to blow it away. And then the connecting cover is like a door opening. There's Negan there at the gate. These are kind of weird. Four. Let's I do like these covers here. This is issue where Carl sneaks off in the back of the truck to go get revenge on Negan. But we also have Jesus following. He's like, you ain't getting away with shit, buddy. I'm gonna find you. Carl holding Abraham's machine gun. Classic. And then the connecting cover is Carl with a bunch of dead saviors there in the back of the van. And I'm covered in blood. So we have Negan getting Carl to take his bandage off because he made him sing. After killing those men, Carl covered with the original gun, and the connecting's old Negan, and he's like ironed someone's face. That happens in that issue as well. Six, which I think this was a variant because I think it was like the 100th issue of Charlie Allard, I think, or something like that, taking over the book. So the group fighting the walkers are trying to find Carl. Basically the exact same thing. This one's a good one for Andrea. And then this issue, which is kind of like some of the key moments that have happened up until this point now. Like Andrea, Negan, Rick on the horse, Glenn dying. Yeah, so that's a good cover. I wish that was a connecting set like that instead of what. Don't get me wrong, I do like the connecting set for this one, but it's not my favourite. Okay. 107, so Rick and Negan have this kind of fight. After Negan kind of eggs Carl or Rick on pretending he's killed him. Yeah? Okay, no problem. This is like the fake out cover. Carl is dead. He's not. And we got Michonne getting angry because Heath turned her down. Or loser Heath. Down the body. Okay, Kate. Try to use covers for this one. This ends off this volume as well. Ezekiel with Shiva. The original. It's a good cover. Again, Ezekiel with Shiva. The Arthur Adams connecting one, so we got Michonne, Ezekiel, Shiva, Carl, the Kingdom. So with this is also the introduction of the Kingdom. Rick goes here with Jesus, and they do agree that they're going to stand up against Negan, and that he can't live the way, they can't live the way that they're living, and that Negan must die. And that is volume 18, What Comes After. So this is the last set of issues here. Complete volume, because issue 14 doesn't come out for another week. 114, sorry. So this is volume 19, A March to War. Starting off with cover A, which is Maggie at Glenn's grave. The original, which is Maggie and Sophia at Glenn's grave. And this connecting one with Michonne. .110, which is the group going to the Our Kingdom and meeting. And so we have Michonne meeting Ezekiel, and they kind of hit it off, kind of. The group are fascinated by the tiger as well, and then we got Rick killing these walkers at the connecting one. Alright, this is a good issue. 111, Negan shows up for his collection at Alexandria. Also at this point I think the group now has the white as like their spy. Negan kills Spencer, I believe, at the end of this issue, hence the fact there's a little blood in the knife. Because he's got no guts, because Spencer's like, I need to kill Rick so I can take over. Ezekiel and Shiva killing walkers. There's some weird covers. 112, which was the second most recent. Negan killing Spencer with his guts hanging out. Andrea and Carl pulling the gun at Negan. It's kind of like at the end where Rick pulls the gun on Negan. And I think they're about to kill him, but they're not, because Negan always comes planned. And then we got Andrea killing walkers again. And then down here, which I only just arrived, I think this arrived yesterday or the day before for me. 113, so we got Andrea in the bell tower. Andrea in the bell tower again. And Negan killing walkers. So 114 would finish this volume with, which comes out in the first week of June. So after that we'll be on to All Out War. So I'll probably do an update at the end of the year once I get to there. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. I don't know why I said tomorrow, but whatever.